Good morning, everyone. We are so glad that you're able to tune in and join us for this live broadcast of with our special guest. And the topic for today is a badass vegan and Ironman triathlete. What? So yes, you can be a vegan badass and an Ironman triathlete. And today, our guest will definitely speak to us and teach us how we are able to do that. Because I had to get all pumped up this morning to get my workout, and I couldn't possibly come on here and not work out while I'm talking to these fitness geniuses. So right now, today we have Melana. Is that Melana? We just had this conversation before I got on. Melana, and we're waiting for badass vegan John Lewis. But for right now, I'm going to read Melana's bio because she has a fascinating story. Melana is a 7+ year vegan passionate about spreading awareness in the power we have to control our health, or to take control of our health and wellness. Her health journey began in 2011 when she watched Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And, you know, I know a lot of people that have been inspired by that documentary, so it's not surprising that that's one that inspired you. And she was inspired to try a 10-day juice tox. Ooh, that's bold. And after dropping 10 pounds in those 10 days and feeling better than ever, she continued juicing periodically while giving up meat and dairy. She has since released and kept off 50 pounds from her heaviest weight. I just have to show you this picture because when she sent it in, I was like, whoa. So she kept off 50 pounds from her heaviest weight, but became an Ironman triathlete. She runs marathons and she is feeling amazing. She enjoys encouraging her friends, family, and followers to make healthy lifestyle changes in real life. And on Instagram, she hosts plant-based challenges to provide people with motivation to step outside of their comfort zone and try a different path. She was inspired by many social media vegans early on in her transition and aims to pay it forward in a similar manner. While she maintains an 8-to-5 job as a nuclear reactor inspector, she enjoys running a side business, Vroom Vroom Escape Room, with her wife. They create themed rooms with puzzles, locks, and riddles. They transform their client spaces into the game they created, from corporate offices to churches to birthday parties. They can set up anywhere. And I definitely want to know more about that because that sounds so exciting. But I want to show you some pictures of Melana and her journey as a Ironman triathlete. I mean, look at this. Let's see, you see it. What were you doing here? That's the swimming, obviously.
Yes, that is the start of Louisville Ironman in 2015. So that's the swim start. That's my wife right in front of me. And we're about to jump in. It is about 6 o'clock in the morning. And we're about to jump in the Ohio River and swim 2.4 miles down the river. Then jump out, get on our bikes, bike 112 miles, jump off our bike.
Oh, and I see you in the bike. I see you in the bike right there.
Yeah.
We're gonna pop John in a minute, then I'm gonna get to John's bio. Hey, John, we're actually in the midst of Melana's bio, so if you could bear with us, so we're showing some pictures here. And then you see Melana running. Yeah. You're excited. Tell us about this time. You got the plant-based dripping. The plant-based dripping gear on too.
Of course. Oh, plant-based dripping. Got to represent. This race was called The Race. It's actually one of the first Black-owned races in Atlanta. Like all Black everything. Black vendors were there. It's a half marathon, and that was the second year that they were doing it. So, or the first year. That was the year.
You look so exciting. Like, you're inspiring me right now with this picture. And then you got, this is your 10-day juice detox, right? Where you release 9.2. Tell us about that. Like, what did you eat during that detox?
Or juice? Nothing. I only juiced only just fruits and vegetables. And my favorite combinations are like celery, cucumber, apples, lemon, and ginger. And I do it every 3 months. And sometimes it's not always a juice detox. Sometimes I do some other detox. But about 4 times a year, I'm doing some type of detox. And I've been doing that since 2011.
I've never done a detox, but I need to try it. I really need to try it and do it the right way. Hi, John. We're going to show a video that you have on your website that I was impressed with. So if you don't mind, before we get into the bio, I want to show that video, okay? Can you hear us, John?
He looks frozen.
Oh, John, you look frozen. We're going to show John's video while we're waiting, okay? We're going to get John in there. John, give me 1 second. We're showing a video of yours. Oh, come on, John. I love this video that he had. There we go.
I have a vision for my life. To be a beacon of hope for people who feel down and out and feel that they are not worthy. I want them to be able to look at my story and say, if he could do it, why the fuck can't I? I'm the creator of my destiny. What I do today sets up my goal I have for myself 10 years from now. It takes everything to be successful. Everything in you has to be focused on your goal. When you put everything into achieving your goal, you have no choice but to be successful. When I'm faced with an obstacle, I smash it. I don't beat around the bush or try to find a quiet way to get around it. I want the obstacle to know I'm coming. And if it wants to take its chance and stay in my way, good fucking luck. My philosophy for life is quite simply one word: dukkha. It is a Buddhist belief of suffering. The Buddhists believe that suffering is a part of life, and that understanding that this suffering is a part of life, one cannot dwell on the suffering and move on to happiness. When it's all said and done, I want to be remembered as the person who found himself in this messed up world, but did all he could to make it better than how he found it.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. That is okay. We got John. Can you hear us? Say something.
Yeah,
to make sure I can hear you.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I can hear you.
I can hear you. So I want to get to your bio. I checked out that video this morning. And I said, oh, we're gonna play this. John Badass Vegan Lewis, as a well-renowned fitness expert, John Lewis has spent over 2 decades in the health and fitness industry and played Division I college basketball. John is highly passionate about not only his own health and fitness, but that of others as well, which are evident through his motivational messages, either through his international public speaking engagements or simply through his social media outlets. Today, John has taken his passion for health and is now directing his first feature-length documentary focused on food and social justice. John has teamed up with the maker of the award-winning What the Hell to create their joint venture, Hungry for Justice. And I definitely want to talk about that. The film follows co-director John Lewis from his beginnings as an adopted child from a crack-addicted birth mother, growing up as an overweight kid in the violence of Ferguson, Missouri, to becoming a prominent health and wellness advocate, promoting compassion. Oh my God, that is major, John. Thank you for coming on. Thank you, Melana. And I want to get this conversation started, okay?
Sorry about my technical difficulties to start off with, too. Sorry about my technical difficulties. I apologize.
Oh, no, there's no, we understand, like, you know, everybody, no apologies necessary. We good. Me and Melana, right? Melana. I'm gonna get this right. I'm sorry, Melana.
Melana.
Yeah, Melana, we were having this conversation before you got on, so, we're all good. So me and Melana definitely connected real well. Tell me about your individual journeys in terms of any challenges that you experienced on your journey.
I'm probably the wrong person to ask that question because I'm one of those people, like, no matter what trials and tribulations I go through, I look at it as part of the journey. So it's never like anything that I look at as like a bad thing. I would say, watching my family members get sick off of stuff that's preventable, I would say that's the hardest thing, really. And not knowing it at first, thinking like, I saw a study that said when a mother gets breast cancer, the first thing that goes through a daughter's mind is not, oh, my mom has breast cancer. It's, oh shit, I'm next. So, a lot of times we see our family get sick, and while we do have empathy for them, we also think like, oh man, I'm next up. I'm down the line if they got this kind of cancer and this. So once I found out about this whole like plant-based vegan journey and how it prevented so many diseases, and how I grew up thinking that all these things were like hereditary and they had to happen to our family, to see your family members kind of like not even be interested in certain things when you're like, no, this will change your life, man. This will do it. And they're like, nah, man, my fat back is more important. I think that's the most challenging.
How did you find out about the plant-based lifestyle? Like where?
My mother was actually diagnosed with colon cancer. And I remember, getting the news and talking to the doctors and seeing like, how did this happen? And the doctor was pretty frank with me. It was like too much animal protein, fried fatty foods, and this and that. And I was like, I'm like, my daughter's calling me, sorry. I'm busy, baby. And I was telling him like, so wait, this is not hereditary? He's like, no, it's not hereditary at all. He's like, this is a lifestyle choice. And so when that happened, that I made that change right then. Hi, baby. Say hi.
Hi. Melana, how did you? Go ahead.
That was how I changed right there.
Where's my
downstairs?
You did a detox, but what inspired you to do the detox?
Okay, so for me, my journey began with my wife, who was on her own health journey, and she's the one who watched Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead and told me to watch it. And in Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, they talk about doing a 10-day juice detox. And so she was like, just try it. She's like, I'm gonna do a 60 you try the 10-day. So I tried it and I felt amazing. Now, I've always been active. I've always like played sports and stuff, but I've also always had extra weight. I like to eat. I eat a lot. And so, and I was that like, steak and salmon and all that type of stuff. I even lived with a vegetarian. And I remember one time when I was making my burger. I'm like, ooh, you don't want some of this burger? Like what? Like I was like that type of person, like, and she's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, oh, but it's a burger. It's delicious, blah, 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 But after I did the juice detox, like my taste buds literally changed. I actually enjoyed some fruits and vegetables more than I had before. And I felt great. And I kept in the research. I kept in the knowledge. So I started watching other documentaries. I watched Forks Over Knives, and just stuff started adding up and making sense. And since I grew up with asthma and eczema and allergies, and I was overweight, and all that stuff was just beginning to disappear, even just with the juice detoxes. Like even after my first one, I went back to still eating meat, but then I did another one. I ate less meat. And after my last one, I was like, wait, I don't think I need this, so,
right.
And it felt great. And, as far as the challenges go, same with John. Like it's hard with family and friends and seeing people go through all these things. I have friends my age, 35, going through cancer, going through, fibroids and surgeries, embolisms, like all this stuff that is really related to diet. And so that was difficult.
Especially in our community, we got the highest health disparities. So, and it just seems like it's so challenging to convince our people what they need to do and how they need to eat in order to get healthy and get off of these meds and things like that. So, and you yourself, your spouse had to help you with that, you know, but you were open enough to take that journey, which is great. You know, just exactly.
I'm grateful for it, like, because you realize, like, not everybody's open, and like, I'm grateful. I don't know what it is that was in me that made me be open to receiving the information at the time I did, because like when I lived with my vegetarian roommate, she never told me anything about the nutrition side, but you know, I guess I wasn't open, I wasn't interested then, and it was just a few years after that when I actually was. But it's like, you know, it's a blessing to actually be open to be able to receive the information.
And it might have been who it came from too for you, Melana. You know what I'm saying? Like, your roommate, probably the information could have came from her, and you probably been like, all right, whatever. But from your wife, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, she cared more, so it might have meant more coming from her too.
True.
Right. Exactly, because it's coming from home. There's been this misconception about plant-based food, vegan food not being real food. Have you come across that, and how do you respond to it? Because I get offended because I have a vegan restaurant, and then folks will say food is not real food. Like, what do you say to that?
That's it. The best thing about brainwashing is that the person that's been brainwashed don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been brainwashed to believe that fruits and vegetables don't carry the nutrients that we need. We've been brainwashed to think that it has to come from this animal that damn near has a DNA close to ours that we're ingesting, and we wonder why we have so many complications. You know what I'm saying? Like, we miss the big picture because the brainwashing never stopped when the plantation stopped. It's still being carried on. Like, yeah, that was the only food you had back then, but you're not on the plantation no more. And you still eating with that and still having that same mentality. And then we see all the diseases happening to us, but we still ignore that. And so I think that's where it comes from. Also telling people about, like, telling people not only how good the food tastes, but also how healthy it is for them. I think a lot of times they think that fruits and vegetables are just nasty because look how enhanced the other food is. Like, the natural taste of a mango is amazing. I never had a mango.
I love mango.
Mango soda. That was the only thing I had. And I thought that how sweet that mango soda was. That's how sweet a mango was. So when I had a mango, I was like, damn, this is actually good on its own. Now, it's not as sweet as this sugar-filled, you know, syrup-filled soda, but it's good. And I think a lot of times people also forget that vegetables can be seasoned with other vegetables. They think, like, all right, this Brussels sprout tastes like this, but you can't put no seasoning on it. Like, no, just like you season that meat. Like, nobody would just eat meat. Like, they forget that. You wouldn't just eat steak.
Oh, dry breast with nothing on it. Like, nobody does that. You put herbs on it. You put vegetables on it.
Herbs and plants, you know? So, exactly. So it just angers me when people make that statement, because it's like, you know, there's a lot of miseducation, and people need to be re-educated, because you're talking about fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, beans, legumes, and you're telling me that that's not food. That doesn't make any sense to me. That you have to eat an animal in order to be eating food. It's you know, we got to do something about it. And collectively, everyone is vegan. You know, that's the challenge. Like, this whole.
But our ancestors ate it.
John, has your mother made dietary changes?
Yeah, she changed from, like, less fried food to, you know, a little bit more fried food. I mean to say, but she's not. My mom is in her 80s, and as much as I want to make her go vegan, I'm not about to have our last conversation be an argument over me trying to get her to go vegan. You know what I'm saying? Like, because she's stubborn. My mom literally picked cotton as a kid. Like, I tell people, like, she got some stubborn ways. So at the same time, I drop hints to her. I talk to her. Now, she knows I will never change. She knows that's who I am. But, you know, at the same time, when she's with me, she eats vegan. But she still lives in Ferguson, Missouri. You know what I'm saying? I'm not around her all the time, you know, being in Miami. So, you know, she hasn't made those changes. Now, it's funny. She'll like straight up send me a screenshot or take a picture of her salad and be like, look, baby, I had salad today. So I mean, she doing little things, you know what I'm saying? Or she be so excited when she have like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, like that's vegan to her. So I'm like, you know what, Mom, if that's what works for you, I reward all the little feats, you know.
Whatever works. I think the mindset is food is so social. Because I know what happens is with some of us when we're going through the transition or we want to go through the transition, because it's such a social thing. You say you're going to go vegan, and the next thing you know, the majority of friends you have, they're going places that they may not have options in there for you. Do you think that some of that is the problem? Because food is so social and it kind of like puts people in this isolated area. Now they got to go start finding new friends, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but everybody's not looking for 100% new friends. They want to keep their old friends too. What do you think about that? What is your perspective?
Okay, so personally, I think your group that you hang out with will kind of naturally shift to some aspects. So like maybe your old friends, you guys might do like different things that you used to do together. You might not always eat together if they don't want to eat vegan, or sometimes it just depends. Sometimes they will come, like my old friends, they know that if they're around me, they know that, okay, let's go somewhere where Melana can have an option. Or I'll be like, y'all, it's one meal, it's one meal. Like, just come to this vegan restaurant with me. If you don't like it, I'm buying. Like, I'll buy anyways, and I'll do that, right? And then they end up liking it, and they're like, oh, so it's good to try to bring them along, but at the same time, going vegan has definitely grown a whole new community and a whole new network of like-minded friends, which is also a positive thing because that helps keep you on the path that you're trying to go to. It's fine if that's not the path your old friends are trying to go on, but it's just different paths. And so, I was able to meet John. We've met like about 5 years ago at a veg fest and stuff, and we've seen each other multiple times through the years, and like we are able to kind of grow our own community, and we all have the same goal of really trying to bring our friends and families to a healthier place. So.
And I think sometimes you understand that all your friends are not going to be lifelong friends. You know what I'm saying? They're lifelong friends, but they won't be through the whole journey with you. You see what I'm saying? Like, your life is a journey, and any journey, any book shows different chapters in the story. Everybody ain't for every chapter. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean they're not part of the story, and that don't mean they're not important to the story. They're just not a part of that chapter of your life. And so I'm very understanding with that. And I'm like what she said, like, I'm always like, yo, if we go to a vegan restaurant, I'll pay. If we go to your restaurant, everybody by their own. But if we go to a restaurant, I got us. So they want to go to that vegan restaurant with you. Now, we all got that one friend that I don't care how good it is, they already got their head set. It's going to be nasty. And they sitting there eating it, making faces. And then the rest of the group is having fun. And they like, this vegan, right? Yeah, nah. Like,
I'm thinking now.
Yeah, that's that one friend who's already thinking about going to another restaurant while he in the restaurant with you. That never fails. But on the flip side is I'm also open to the fact that usually I'm the one that changed. Okay, since I'm the one that changed, I have to adapt a little bit. Like, I was a butcher growing up, so I have a whole other aspect of life. Like, I can sit down to somebody eating steak and eat my vegetables. It don't bother me one bit. But I also understand that in order for us to influence people, we have to go back to them in order to help them. Like your restaurant.
Where they are.
Yeah, the restaurant being where it is. Like, if you put that, in the uppity scale place, yeah, you got people that's gonna buy it, but who you helping out? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like. And I think all three of us understand that you have to go back and put the hand out. You can't stand over where you at in the good place and wave and be like, hey, come over here. They're like, nah, I don't get there. But if you go back and extend a hand, and I know that sounds kind of messed up for a lot of vegans who, like, they can't stand the sight of meat and this and that. But you have to understand, you have to remember where you were at one point in your life. And in order for you to go help somebody else, you have to understand where they are. And I think that's the main things in my film is like, this is showing like we have to go back and we have to help out. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean you got to stay there. You just go there. Whoever want to come, you got to pull that little, hey, we leaving the settlement. Let's go. Whoever want to leave the settlement, you come. If you want to stay, you stay on your own. But if you want to come, let's go. And I think that's what we have to do.
I like the way you put that. And this next question I'm gonna ask, and then I want to move into some fitness questions, because since y'all fitness experts and we got a Ironman person here, I definitely want to touch on those questions as well. How often do you have the discussion with your friends and families and folks that you're trying to introduce to this lifestyle about the impact to the environment and to, the animal cruelty and even global hunger, with the understanding a lot of this food that's being produced is limiting food that can be available globally for people that are hungry? Like, do we have those conversations often with people in our community to help them understand, like, why we're actually doing this? We have the health, like, what's in it for me, but then what's the give back to everything else in terms of the earth and the animals and globally?
Okay, so I'll say, as far as the reason of going vegan, yes, the health, I think the health is the main conversation that I've had with friends and family and stuff. That's the main thing that people are concerned with. I went vegan for health, but then I stayed vegan for animals because, like, just thinking about it, I just don't want anything to die for me. And I'm not even an animal. I don't have pets. I probably won't even pet your dog, like, but I don't think that something needs to die for my pleasure. And so that made it easier to stay vegan. So I will kind of talk about, like, the cruelty side of it, and the fact that we don't need to kill anything. But as far as the conversation goes, depending on who I'm talking to, a lot of people have a mentality of, people don't really care about animals for real, honestly, or the environment. And with the environment part,
why do you think that is when you, and we're talking about our demographic, and our demographic sits on so many different social economic backgrounds, because you could be low income, working class, middle class, affluent, you know what I'm saying, or business owners. So we have different levels. But why do you think that is? Some because we do have a demographic of Black vegans that are for the animals and everything else.
We
right? The So Freaking Vegan, I gotta shout her out. She definitely speaks about that in her videos, and I shout her out because So Freaking Vegan definitely recommended Melana to come on. So thank you.
Carrie, she's that's another reason why we connected so much, because she actually cares about the animals and as well.
Right.
Like, people feel like it's taboo to even say it. Like, there's so much stuff going on with the Black community. Like I can't believe you're even saying don't kill animals when Black people are dying. But it doesn't have to be separate.
Right.
You can care about more than one thing, and there's like an intersection of it, So
I think, to go along with what you said,
that's an important topic. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
I think that's one of the biggest things, is that a person of color, period, they just feel like, I got too much shit on my shoulders already to care about this animal over here. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the, I'm sorry, I keep cursing. I forget. I'm sorry. But I think it's one of the biggest things.
That's that Buddhism. That's that Buddhism. That expression.
Like, I gotta get it out. I gotta get it out, or I keep it in. Like, I gotta get it out. So, but I feel like that one of the biggest things is that we feel like we have so much on our plate already. Nobody cares about us. Why should I care about something else? And I think that's one of the biggest things. But then I think that's when you kind of got to break it down to them. It's like, no. Caring for them is caring for yourself. Like, I always tell them, I'm like, F the animals, F the economy, F the environment, F everything else. What about you? How healthy is this going to make you? And I think sometimes is that like you said, it depends on your audience, because everybody don't care about the environment. Everybody don't care about animals, but we make it about them. Humans have one trait that no other animal has, and it's selfishness. So we have to appeal to that selfishness sometimes. And once we appeal to that selfishness, then now we can kind of trickle in some other stuff once they care about themselves more. Because at the end of the day, if it is about the animals don't care why somebody went vegan. They don't care if you went for animal rights or for your health, as long as you ain't killing them. I tell people like this is how I break it down. It's like Black people, we don't care why cops don't kill us, as long as they ain't killing us. Like, if you think about it, like, we don't care why you're not hurting us, as long as you're not hurting us. It don't matter if it was because the law changed, because your morals changed, your religion changed. long as you ain't killing young black kids, we don't care no more. Just stop doing it. So it's the same thing for animals. Like, I think it's an ego thing for humans to feel that if a person doesn't go vegan for this certain cause, then they ain't doing it for the right reasons. And the animals are like upset about it. They don't care. They don't care. I think once we get there, then we can start showing them all the other things. But we got to get them in the door first.
Yeah.
To get them
Right,
in the
exactly.
We can show them all the other rooms in the house. But got to get them in the house first. And however, whatever it takes to get them in the house, then you show them the other rooms. Don't try to show them a room that they don't care about. And you're like, well, they didn't even want to be vegan. You're like, no, because you didn't go to them and reach them where they were.
Right.
Right. And that's
like
why it's important for our people to be the face of this movement, because we understand our people, of course, because we're our people, we understand what's needed and what's required to bring this message out. Because we're done with the colonizing and telling us how to think and what to say and why we need to think this way. So there is a lot of infighting when it comes to this whole vegan movement. And, folks just need to understand our culture is a totally different culture, and you need to leave this to us, because we know what we're doing.
And we appreciate, while you say that, we appreciate every white person that tries to reach out, but you have to come a certain way. Gray just posted today, he said, don't use slavery as a means of veganism if you're not black. Don't do it. And I commented on that. I was like, yeah, you can't use it when it's cool for you. You know what I'm saying? If you talk about, animal cruelty is like the slavery times, but you don't speak up for black people that are the descendants of slavery, then shut the fuck up. Like, don't bring that up. You know what I'm saying? That's just the honest truth. If you don't use slavery just for animals, but when black people are slain or this and that, and you don't say a word, don't even try that. And I think that's what they have to understand. Like, don't use it for your convenience. You know what I'm saying? Like, we appreciate the help. We appreciate you reaching out, but don't use that avenue to try to get black people to go vegan, because you don't understand.
It's offensive. It's offensive. Yeah. I said it's offensive.
Exactly. It's offensive.
I'm glad we're having this conversation, because this is why I'm doing what I do, and I appreciate now it's time for the shout outs, and then we get to the fitness. I appreciate Jane Unchained News allowing us this platform to have this discussion, and also our sponsors of Veg Fund and Welfare World and Women Funders and Animal Rights, because the main issue is, as long as we're not killing animals through the food, no matter how we disseminate this information, be happy with it. Period. End of story. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fitness. I want to know your fitness routine. Like, what are you eating in the morning? Like, what does your day look like when it's in terms of fitness goals, and getting that workout in? I was telling Melana that I worked out this morning, and I was so excited I had to, because I was coming to talk to y'all.
I actually want to hear what Melana has to say. Training for that Ironman. I actually want to hear that. So you go right ahead. We lost her.
We lost Melana. Okay, well then, John, you gotta go.
I guess I gotta go. Well, as a lot of people,
Melana was like, nope.
Right. She'll be back, I'm sure. As a lot of people know that follow my journey, I actually fast throughout the day. And I've been doing that since 2012. I fast for 23 hours. I eat 1 hour a day. And I've been doing that. My mentor, Jim Morris, who's a historically, black vegan as well, he taught me that in 2012. And I just never got rid of it. I always kept that in my regimen. Now, every day, what's that?
Every day you fast for 23 hours? And then what do you eat when you eat?
It depends on where I'm at. If I'm around you, I eat what you make. If I'm, I travel all over the place. Now, I will say this. Sometimes when I travel, I may adjust it, because I'm not going to get that food again. Like, when's the last time I've been up there? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know sometimes there might be 4 or 5 restaurants within a 4-day time span. I'm trying to get to all of them. So it might change up. But I would say 99% of the time, I'm doing 23 hours fasting, eating an hour a day. And the reason why I started doing it is, like, he taught me, like, about the mental clarity, about your cells rejuvenating during fasting. There's so many things that, and I hate to be a shameless plug, but I'm writing a book about it right now, about my journey.
Right. That's what this is for.
Yeah, I know. I try not to be that guy. But yeah, I do talk about, the cell rejuvenation, the mental clarity. It's so many things. I was obese as a child, so like it helps me control my eating habits as well. But yeah, so 23 hours a day, I fast. I eat for that hour. Right now, what I'm eating is I'll do like, and I got it cooking right now. I can smell it up here. But I do like a pan, like 2 pans of roasted vegetables, and it may be between Japanese purple sweet potatoes, cabbage, mushrooms, broccoli, onions, and I make 2 big pans of roasted, and that usually lasts me about 2 days, unless my family wants to jump in and like take some of my stuff. That's why I make so much, because they always eat my stuff. But I do that, and then I'll have like a large smoothie, which usually consists of like mangoes, blueberries, pineapple, and very like a lot of water fruit. Is like if anybody doesn't know what water fruit is, look that up. It's fruit that's usually about 95% water more than anything.
Okay.
I also have like a 32 ounces of just cold pressed juice, or I'll make the juice myself. It just depends. And that's usually like my 3 like little meals that I have within the hour window. And I've been, like I said, that's what I'm on right now, because for the cover of the book, I decided that I'm going to be on the cover of the book, so I got to be on point. Like I can't be trying to sell no fitness book and I ain't looking right. So right now, that's when it's working real well for me.
Well, what time do you eat in that hour? What's the hour time that you eat? So Melana, John goes fasting for 23 hours and he eats in the hour. Like, what time is that?
It's usually around 5 or 6. And I usually work out around 2-ish, 2 to 3. And then by that time I'm done, come in, shower up, get the kids a bath too, like whatever I got to do. And then by 5 or 6, because another thing, like I'm not Buddhist by any means. I like a lot of the premises of what they do. You saw in the video about dukkha.
That's the shadow box back there, the Buddhas and all that. So I'm into all of that.
So, a good trait I was reading about a Buddhist monk who went to one of the monasteries where they were training, and he was telling them that he doesn't eat when the sun goes down. And I was like, damn, that makes so much sense. Like your body is holding on to all that food while you sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not holding on to all that food, your body's not digesting that. It's not wasting energy on digesting the food while you sleep. Like you're supposed to rest. But if your body is still trying to work to digest food while you're asleep, you're not really getting a full night's rest. So I stopped doing that. So I finished I'm finished at least by 7 or 8. The sun right now is going down around 8. So I try to finish up before that. And throughout the day, if I do anything that's not that hour window, it's either water or tea. That's what I drink. So no calories whatsoever within that.
Wow. I definitely want to follow you.
About 8 years now.
That's amazing. Melana, are you doing the 23-hour fast? What are you doing for your fitness routine?
I'm not doing 23-hour fast.
How with all that training she doing?
But I do. I just last week, I just did a 5-day water fast. I believe in fasting. I think it's huge. Yeah. So for 5 days, drink nothing but water. And you still have enough energy to do things. I was still helping my friend dig a garden and everything like that. And I still went out to the stores and whatnot. So, but yeah, no, not on the regular. I'm not doing any type of 23-hour fasting. Right now, I'm kind of eating mostly raw.
Okay.
Because same deal as far as just wanting to, you can get like, fluffy or unfit or just aesthetically not necessarily the way you want to look being vegan, because
easy.
Yeah, it's not hard.
There's cupcakes out there.
Right. The whole other thing is like, even though something is vegan doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy. We all know.
Right, exactly. And I say that all the time. That's why I talk about whole foods, straight from the ground foods, because all the whole food plant-based,
Right. So that's ideal. Whole food plant-based is ideal, right? But at the same time, from the social aspect and just from the, living in the United States aspect, once in a while it might have something, right? And plus there's a lot of businesses that you kind of want to support. In Atlanta, there's a lot of Black-owned businesses, and not all of them are healthy, so it might go like once a year, twice a year, whatever, just to give somebody an experience. Yeah. I see kind of the unhealthy junk food vegan stuff as an experience versus a regular way of life. Right. So kind of this.
What do you work out? What do you like? How long do you work out during the day? Like how many days a week? Because I know John said he does an hour a day.
He does an hour like
that, right?
So usually I run 4 to 5 times a week, and that run could be anywhere from just 30 to 90 minutes or so. Usually. Now this quarantine has actually thrown off my workout schedule because I always sign up for races. I sign up for marathons, triathlons, whatever. And that's what keeps me dedicated and committed to my workout schedule. Races got canceled. Like, there's no more races.
That's my next question. How the pandemic, how are you navigating through it? So, John, that'll be the next thing. So, Melana, you're already on it. Like, how is it working for you?
Well,
or not working?
That part has been affected because now I'm like, I'm not really on my training schedule. Like, because once I pay for a race, like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I just paid a bunch of money. Like, I'm not just going to sit here on my, on my ass, not doing anything. So, not having the race schedule is actually making me look into myself more for that discipline and that commitment, because commitment is huge. So, but as far as my workout goes, I'll run. Yesterday I did spin. The day before I did bike and run, and I bike so I'll run and bike, especially in the summertime. I like to get outside and get vitamin D in. So I'm an endurance athlete. Now you put me in a gym and make me lift weights and stuff, I'm going to be dying. I'll do it, but like,
you don't like the weight. You like that. I got it.
I know I need it and I know it's necessary, but I don't like it. I prefer
I do a combo. So the fitness routine I'm in with my gym, it's a combination. They want you strength training and cardio. So it's got to be a combination with the weights. And it's amazing. I love it. I don't like weights either, but the way they make it, it's so many different routines that this is not boring. But that weight stuff, I feel you.
Yeah, not my favorite, but you're right though.
But it's helping out, man. Look at this. I'm getting it going, y'all.
Yes. So another thing that helps too is like the community as well. I have a lot of people in my neighborhood and area. Like I said, Atlanta has a big vegan community anyways, and we all work out.
I know, major. Yeah. You're down in Miami now, right? Are you in Miami?
Yeah. I'm in North Carolina right now.
Okay, because I know when I went down to Miami, they were picking up. They had a lot of new shops that opened up.
Yeah, Miami's vegan is huge.
Yeah.
Oh, it's huge. I love that. I love that I got to witness all that transition and still be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I'm living between North Carolina and Miami, so like I'm still a part of it, and I get to really I've seen it go from one vegan restaurant, which was like an all raw restaurant, to now like a whole movement. And it's been crazy. To go along with what you were saying, Melana, because Doms does triathlons.
Yeah, Ironman as well.
Doms, that's my bro, but I tell people that's a beast. Like for him to be able to do those miles that he does and keep that size. He eats like an elephant. Like he really does. Like when he says elephants eat. Whenever I come to Atlanta, I stay with him. And the boy eats like an elephant. He does. Like he keeps that size.
If somebody wanted to start, I want to be a triathlete. Where do I start? I just wake up one day. I want to do triathlete. Like, what would you recommend?
I would recommend just pulling up a basic plan, and because you don't have to. There's distances, so you don't have to just go out and be an Ironman and do the biggest distance. You can go do a triathlon that has like a 400-meter swim, which is like a 7-8 minute swim, a 30-minute bike and a 30-minute run after. So just know that you don't have to go all out and do. It's not as intimidating as it sounds. Everybody can do it. So get a plan, get some shoes. If you want to do triathlon, get a bike, get a swimsuit. Get a road bike and get a swimsuit and just go. But like if you just want to get into running's the easiest thing to get into. You find some shoes that work and you hit the pavement.
shoes are important. Like I did 6 half marathons, and then I don't know if anybody's ever seen Forrest Gump, but it literally was like I don't know if you've seen Forrest Gump when he like literally just figured out he was done running, and he had like a crowd of people behind him. I was in my last race, and I literally had like an epiphany, and I was like, yeah, this is it. I was in the middle of the race, like. I finished the race. I didn't walk. I kept going, but something in my mind was like, "This is it.
Done.
This is it. Like you ain't doing this no more." Like,
how does it make you feel at the end? I know it's an exhilarated. Like, what is that experience like when it's over? Because you trained, you got ready for this, and now you did it. And then how does it feel at the end? Was it worth it? Like, what is that like?
There really is a thing called a runner's high. Like when I did it, and I'm sure she's felt it too. Like. It's so crazy that like when you get into that like mile 3, 4, whatever it is, something clicks. Like where most people like, I'm done with this. You get to a place where you like, all right, let's go. Like it's just something happens. So like even when you finish in that, it's just this sense of accomplishment. Like you just can't. It's one of those things. It's hard. It's very hard to describe. But then once you've done it, then it's like, oh, I get what they were saying because it sounds like bull. It does, like a runner's high. It sounds like bull to anybody that hates to even walk. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get to that point. And for me, like
and when you're done with that, do you just get back and you want to get into another one? Like when you're done with that whole thing, whether it's the triathlon, do you just say, okay, and I want to do another one? Or do you like, okay, I'm going to chill for a couple months and then I'm going to do it next year? Like, what is your thought process?
She might agree with me on this, but I will say this. Everybody that I know, when they finish a triathlon, a marathon, whatever, the first thing they think about is food. It ain't nothing that, like because they know they deserved whatever they worked for. That's what they was waiting on. They waiting on their food. They got a meal in their head already planned out that they've been waiting to eat once they finish this whole thing.
Yeah, for the most part. For the most part, yeah.
The vegan cookies. Do they get the vegan cookies? They gonna eat all crazy stuff that they can eat after that.
yeah. Food is definitely a thought. For me, I agree as far as like doing like the marathons and stuff, but also it depends on the distance. So after I did like the full Ironman, it took me 15 hours, 39 minutes, and 15 seconds.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
You no fitness after that.
That was no. I across that finish line. I took my 3-year-old nephew out his stroller, and I sat in his stroller. And
you got people picking him up to like give him a hug. You're like, no.
It's my stroller now. I sat in his stroller. I was like, hey, I heard they're giving out free IVs. Let me get one of those. And I got an IV, and I rested. But the next day, yes, I ate up everything. I was in Louisville, and I was fine and ready to eat. And I think that being plant-based, it actually helped recovery immensely. Because like some people are like, oh, you're fine. Like the next day I was able to walk, and there was only a few more days where I was able to start running again.
What do you eat to recover? What do you eat to recover? What gets you, like, what is the best thing to eat to recover?
So not the celebratory food. First, I probably ate some vegan. I have no idea. Like vegan burgers, stuff. I have no idea. Maybe pizza. I love pizza. So, but then after that, to recover, lots of juice. I love making juice and fruit, really. Watermelon and mangoes, just lots of nutrient-rich foods. I did a lot of banana smoothies, peanut butter banana smoothies, and ice cream. Just plants, because it feels good. It's hydrating.
I've always thought about trying something like that. Okay, I'm a couple of years away from 50, and I'm working out and doing my thing. But it's always just like, I could do it. I just got to prepare for it.
Start like a 5K, and then like build up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where people make the mistake. They're like, I ain't done nothing. I'm doing a marathon. Like, no, you might want to
build up. Start with a Couch to 5K program. And it will tell you every day, like, go for a walk. Now, during this walk, run for this 2 minutes. Now, just keep walking again. Build up, but you stick to the schedule, you can do it. And that's the awesome thing about these races. You start doing them, and you see people around you who are like everything. You see big, tall, short, fat, no legs, no arms. Like, there's like
and motivation
and everybody's out there.
I did a 5K
That's
in
on my
Miami
bucket list.
for the Miami Seed Festival, and I hadn't really trained. I just didn't train for the 5K. In my head, I was cocky. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I got this. There was this dude pushing his son in one of them like running strollers.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this. I swear. I remember him passing me, and the baby looked at me like it was just like, you suck. Like, dude, that was it hurt and it motivated me at the same time. Like, the little kid looked at me like, you doing it. Like, and the man, the father was
adorable.
the father had that stride and was gone. And I was like, I'm dying. It's a 5K. This ain't even a marathon. It's a 5K. And I'm hurting. Like, I thought I was just going to get up. You know, I'm an athlete. I got this. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll never get that. Never.
We're in our final 10 minutes, and I want to talk about projects that you both are working on. So, Melana, you got room, and all this special stuff that sounds interesting. You want to talk to us about that?
I have an escape room. It's a mobile escape room. My wife and I. Yes, and John's played it before. We actually made a specific themed one called Escape the Slaughterhouse for Vegan Thanksgiving, the thing that Gray puts on. And so we transform her into the little slaughterhouse. We had turkeys in cages that they had to save, before Thanksgiving. And you go around the room, and there's codes and things are locked up, and you work together as a team. And I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, I create it, but John, I mean, I think you guys had a good time, right?
I had fun. And the good thing is too, like, especially at Gray's event, there were some people that I didn't know that we ended up being on the team together. So it was a good, like, bonding experience as well, like meeting new people, you know what I'm saying? So like sometimes, you go to, you might already know everybody, but it was cool because of that event, I didn't know everybody. So it was good. And we had fun. And you got to crack these codes, and you feel like you're in a Da Vinci Code or something, like trying to get out.
Yeah, so it's awesome. I really enjoy running the escape rooms because of that reason, for the team building, the bonding, and also when people are cracking codes, you see confidence increase. And it's amazing, like, how much our confidence gets shot throughout the years as adults. We ran it with kids and seen their confidence grow. And you always think you want to boost up children, but we need to boost up each other too. And when we run these games at offices and birthday parties and like corporations, you see that these adults, that something has happened and they're not confident in themselves, and now they're figuring out these codes. You see a brand new,
They need it in Los Angeles, and maybe we could bring it in Baltimore in some shape, form, or fashion. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
John, tell us about the movie, the documentary. When are we releasing it? And if you all want to know how to follow John and Melana, let me just bring that back up. You're talking about at Badass Vegan on IG, badassvegan.com, boomescaperoom.com, and at melana.joy.freelove. So make sure you're following these two, because I'm gonna be on their Instagram forever for now, getting ready for the stuff I need to get ready for.
Right here. So my film we were scheduled to finish filming in June, but with everything happening, we still trying to do interviews and stuff like that. We can't really hold them like we want to. So we're just getting back to getting everything going. We've been editing as we've been in this, quarantine status, I guess you could say.
Right.
If you want, now it is about 5 minutes. I actually do have the teaser up available for people.
Yeah, we can definitely close out with that, okay? So we could definitely, you send me the link, or give me the link, or tell me where the link is.
I just emailed it to you.
I can type it in. You just sent it to me?
I emailed it to you.
Okay.
I responded to the email that we started. Huh?
It's a link.
Yeah.
Okay.
I responded to it, so you can share the screen or whatever. But yeah, so it's been great. It's basically it's the follow-up film to What the Health, and based off of social justice and food justice through the lens of hip hop. So far, we've been like Samaya, Dead Prez, Neo, Angela Yee, Soleil, Ciroc, Professor Griff.
Oh, my man is in there. We love
we got some more. We definitely got Niecy Nash agreed to be interviewed for it. June Ambrose, if anybody knows June Ambrose, she's like one of the #1 style icons of the hip hop movement. Yeah, so it's been great. And then we still got all the doctors, all the economists, the government officials. And it's basically the premise of the film is to show people how much the government doesn't care about you. It's hard. It's easy.
We're going to show the trailer. I got it up. We're going to show that. Any last words that you want for the viewers, because we're going to close out with that trailer. Anything you want the viewers to know right now that's very important for them to know?
I just want to say your journey does not have to be perfect, and just stay in the knowledge, stay in the research, and experiment on yourself too, because you can tell how your body feels. And if you're healthy enough, you can try some things and see if you respond in that way. So, and the closer you go to plant-based, like, is a step in a really good direction.
For me, it's like, don't worry about who loves you, love yourself. Everything else will fall into place. If you focus on yourself and understand that loving yourself will open the doors to receive love from other people. Like, I think a lot of times we sit in an angry state. We think that people don't love us. We think this is that, but we don't love ourselves. If we start to love ourselves, and that includes eating right, taking care of ourselves, health-wise, then everything works out.
Awesome. I appreciate you two coming on today, taking out the time. If folks haven't downloaded the free vegan starter guide, AfricanAmericanVeganStarterGuide.com, put out by Tracy McWhirter, please download it. It's free, African American Vegan Starter Guide. So we're going to transition into the video. I'm so excited. And then we definitely got to connect with on some screening stuff, John, because I definitely want to do that as well.
Definitely. Tracy's in the film too.
Really?
Yeah.
She's going to be on the show too, and I'm going to talk to her about it. She's coming on in the next couple of weeks, so I'm excited about that as well. All right, let's see what we got. There we go.
So this is the neighborhood I grew up in, right in Ferguson. A friend of mine was actually shot in his driveway right there. You put drugs in the communities, put guns in the communities, put disease in the communities, put poor food in the communities. All these things are designed to shorten your life expectancy.
It's by design. It is not accidental that this is what's in the hood and this is what's over there.
There's actually an active hand in making sure that we living like this.
It's all about control, money, and survival to them.
Your death is not an expense to them. It's an expense to you.
They're trying to make money from us, even if it's at the expense of killing us. You just die slow. Your family just watches you die.
The alcohol industry, fast food industry, tobacco industries target communities of color.
Your health is not their main priority. They're trying to keep you sick.
We are in a state of emergency when it comes to our health.
Keeping people sick is very lucrative.
Now you want pills. Now you want that.
Stop.
Dialysis. Now you want medicine. You go into the hospital on a regular to see your doctor. Everybody's getting paid except you.
Big pharma and pharmaceutical companies are making billions of dollars.
Okay. I mean, that's just the video getting stuck, but it'll play again.
For all of us, as long as they can make that dollar, they don't care if you live or die.
It's something about being here that's making Black people sick.
Everybody's getting paid except you. You hurt.
There are more dangerous and harmful chemicals in products made for women of color.
It absolutely is a crisis.
They don't make a dime for dope.
It's kind of like the dope game. It is the dope game. It's just a theater gangster. The mob boss.
Look at the hidden hand, you see that government is feeding the crisis.
We're fed wrong knowledge, decided all the wrong food.
It's about money over people's health.
If you can control a population's access to food, you can control the person.
Only about 8% of African Americans even live in communities that have a grocery store in them.
Because the deep root problem is the food.
Because poor diets kill more brothers than sisters. You know, we fighting for our lives. That's like Michael Vick's pit bulls.
As Black
movement would dying off so quickly in so many ways.
It's here, pocketed in our communities.
They don't want a healthy population.
That is injustice, plain and simple.
The powers that be are making that money at the top. They trying to kill us.
Wow. I am so excited. I'm like anxious for this. Oh, that's
great.
Definitely.
That looks awesome. It looks like a great documentary. I can't wait.
You know what? I'm ready. Thanks again. I love y'all. Everybody follow them. Please, please, please enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe.
All right.
Bless you.
What's up, everybody? Good seeing y'all. Bye.
Bye.